They exposed her private texts in front of everyone, hoping she'd break. But instead, Cassie turned the entire trial on its head. On day 4 of Sean Diddy Combs' explosive federal trial, his legal team launched their boldest attack yet. Their target? Cassie Ventura. Their goal? Destroy her credibility and dismantle her claims of abuse. What followed was a dramatic courtroom battle, full of tension, revelations, and a backfiring strategy that might haunt the defense for the rest of this trial. The courtroom was packed. Media outlets lined the back rows. Cameras outside captured every arrival. Inside, the tension was thick because this wasn't just another witness. Cassie Ventura had already testified for days, detailing a harrowing relationship with Diddy filled with violence, manipulation, and control. She claimed he forced her into drug use, coerced her into so-called freak-offs with male sex workers while he watched, and threatened her whenever she resisted. Her story had shocked the nation. But on day 4, it was time for the defense to strike back.
We're not giving up by a long shot. I told Mr. Combs I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible.
Leading the cross-examination was Diddy's high-profile attorney, Mark Agnifilo, a lawyer known for aggressive courtroom tactics. He stepped forward, holding stacks of Cassie's old text messages, emails, and past statements. This wasn't just about questioning her memories. This was about tearing her apart, word by word, line by line. The defense wasted no time. They projected a series of explicit and affectionate text messages exchanged between Cassie and Diddy years into their relationship, even around the time she claims the abuse was ongoing. Some messages showed Cassie thanking Diddy, calling him baby, and sending what the defense described as loving words. In one, she described wanting to please him. In another, she joked about freak-off scenarios. Agnifilo's point was clear. If she was willingly involved, if she seemed emotionally connected, could her story of coercion really hold? But Cassie didn't flinch. "I was scared," she said, her voice steady. "He conditioned me to behave a certain way. If I didn't say those things, there would be consequences." She explained that her words weren't reflections of love, but of survival. The defense pushed harder, questioning Cassie's claims of being forced into sex acts while under the influence of drugs. They pointed out that she had sometimes used ecstasy and cocaine without Diddy present, implying it was her own choice and not something he forced. But again, Cassie pushed back with control. "Just because I took drugs doesn't mean I wanted to do what he made me do," she said. "He normalized those things. I didn't know how to say no." This moment became a turning point. Viewers and analysts watching from the gallery noted that instead of unraveling, Cassie came across as even more credible. Her demeanor was calm. Her story was unwavering. Her pain was obvious. In trying to prove she had autonomy, the defense only highlighted how completely Diddy controlled her. Cassie detailed how even when she appeared compliant, she was operating under fear. She said she feared retaliation, public shaming, even violence. Every text, every moment of affection, was performed under pressure. She described the psychological manipulation that made her question her own agency. How Diddy blurred the line between love and control. "He'd reward me when I did what he wanted," she said, "and punish me emotionally or physically when I didn't." She recalled instances where she would send sweet messages just to keep the peace. Not out of affection, but out of necessity. At one point during her testimony, the courtroom went completely silent. Agnifilo asked if she had ever tried to leave. "Many times," she replied. "But every time I tried, something would happen. He would find a way to pull me back. With threats, with guilt, with fear." After hours of questioning, the defense appeared frustrated. What was meant to be a strategic blow to Cassie's credibility had instead reinforced her portrayal as a survivor. Legal analysts weighed in later that day. One called it a miscalculation by the defense. "You don't always want to cross-examine a victim who's emotionally consistent and credible," said trial attorney Lisa Barrett, "because you risk strengthening their case and making the jury sympathize even more." On social media, hashtags like #IStandWithCassie trended once again. Supporters praised her composure and her strength under pressure. Even critics of the trial's media circus agreed on one thing. Day 4 was a defining moment. Not for what the defense proved, but for how Cassie stood her ground. The trial is far from over. New witnesses are expected in the coming days, and Diddy's legal team will likely regroup. But one thing is clear: the strategy they used on day 4 backfired, and badly. What was meant to discredit Cassie may have instead become the moment she gained even more trust in the eyes of the public, and possibly the jury. She was supposed to break. Instead, she broke their defense. Subscribe for more updates as this trial unfolds. Every day reveals more, and every truth brings us closer to justice.